Logan's question is next. After doing your net worth statement to start the year, do the money guys ever look back at their net worth during the year? Do you set goals and milestones for the year or just wait till next January? Hands off. What do you think?
I'll share what I do, and then Brian, I want you to share what you do. I've said this before, so if you've heard this before, apologize for repeating myself. I love surprises, and I hate ruining surprises. Like when my family wants to do, like, I might catch on, they're planning something for me for a birthday or buying me some present. I like actively avoid it so that I don't ruin the surprise. My net worth statement is the exact same thing. I love that when it comes to December 31st, and it's time for me to do my net worth statement, I've not actually looked at the numbers closely for a year because I want to be amazed at how much it grows. So I don't reference back to my net worth statement except for one time a year. Now, one thing that I do, because I think this matters.
You do?
One thing.
Sorry, keep going. I didn't mean to do that to you.
Derailed.
One thing that I actively try to think about throughout the course of the year, oh my gosh, I just lost it again. Is I want to make sure that my savings rate stays pure because, our incomes are variable, right? It's not like a fixed income every month, every quarter. So I want to make sure that I'm always saving my appropriate amount. So I am constantly revisiting how much am I saving, what accounts am I maxing out, how much is going into my after-tax account so that I can make sure my savings stays true and pure throughout the year. But in terms of account values and account balances, outside of making sure that I'm doing my periodic rebalancing, looking at my total portfolio to make sure that the risk tolerance and risk capacity is still aligned, I don't like doing net worth any more frequently than annually because I love the surprise and the excitement of it once a year.
But let's be real here, though, is that even though it's an annual update, you're going to get probably an extended period of discussion time there. Because I know, like with my own net worth statement, I do it annually, but then I will have a sit down. My wife and I will talk about what changed. I'll go through the variables. I will do some planning, thinking about what are some goals I'll update because I try to give myself 5-year, 10-year goals, figure out what the stretch opportunity is next. So I will use that and I'll use the dashboard and the feedback I get from the annual net worth to go through it. So even though I'm only updating it once a year, there's probably 2 to 3 months where this thing is a key tool that I'm using to figure out my journey. Not to also say banks and others are going to want copies of it because I have to share that as part of our process. But here's something I would encourage everyone so you can have a really better understanding of how often you should look at your net worth. I talk about net worth statements are like your children. In the beginning, and I've made this analogy before, I mean, you're there with them constantly. I mean, you're changing diapers, you're waking up multiple times a night to feed them. Your net worth statement, because you're going to get a lot of benefit that in the beginning when you first start this. If you're updating it every month, I don't blame you because it's so cool when you're paying down debt, when you're saving and you're building your army of dollar bills. That every month or every quarter, you're going to see dramatic changes because you've gone from neglecting your financial life to now prioritizing your financial life. You're going to see rapid changes quickly. Doing net worth statements is so much better than exercising because exercising you have to do for 4, 5, 6 months before you see your first vein pop out from underneath the fat and stuff. Your 401k, your net worth is going to be the exact opposite. You'll actually see immediate benefit very quickly. So while it's in baby status, get in there, focus on it a lot. But as it turns into a toddler, now it's feeding itself and it's actually starting to grow upon itself. It's okay that if you're only updating it now every quarter to every 6 months. But by the time our net worth statements, this thing, it's not getting Social Security yet, but it's definitely kind of like, Dad, let me tell you about my new promotion that I got at the job. Mine now is at a very mature net worth. So it's more of strategy on how we're maximizing. Because remember, when you're in the beginning, you're on the get wealthy behaviors. You're focusing on making sure every dollar has a purpose. I do think you'll get to a point where your net worth gets to a mature standpoint that you're like, okay, now we need to focus on how do I stay wealthy? What are the behaviors? And you'll use this tool, this feature, in a completely different way. That's what I love about what we get to do. We get to share the tools so that you can do it. So load it up in the beginning. Get all the encouragement, the positive stuff that comes from updating it frequently, but as it matures, there's nothing wrong with it being just an annual tradition because it's mature. There's a lot of exciting stuff. Because I told you, one of the biggest things I look for, and it happens when you have good years in the financial markets, if your net worth increases more than you made in wages, hot diggity dog, you are getting so close to financial independence. It's really cool to kind of watch and get that feedback.
We think that that's such an important point. We actually put it on our net worth template. You can go to learn.moneyguy.com. If you've never tracked your net worth before, check out our template. It is the actual one that Brian and I use every single year.
True.
We just put our branding on it, so it was super, super pretty for you guys. Go use it because it is a tremendous tool where you can see right there how powerful is my army of dollar bills working. Go check it out, learn.moneyguy.com if you want to use our templates.